Hello, I'm Adam Williams, Partner and Head of Immigration at DMH Stallard. DMH Stallard is recognised by legal directories as one of the leading practices advising on both private and corporate immigration. In this brief video I'm going to talk to you about the Global Business Mobility Route and what it is. And this is something that's been introduced since April 2022, and it encapsulates a number of different visas, some of which previously had their own visa routes, into one banner, and really focuses on temporary movement of workers into the UK, where there's a connection between a UK business and an overseas employer or entity. These are temporary routes, as I said, but in actual fact, in some of the subcategories, you could be in the UK for anything from 5 up to, at the most extreme, 9 years. So what does the route encapsulate? Well, various different subcategories of visa that you might be able to use to sponsor someone, or indeed for that individual to obtain their visa if you're an applicant. You have the senior specialist worker subcategory. That's for a senior, as the name suggests, individual who's highly paid and in a graduate level role or above, and who needs to move between commonly owned or controlled employers between the UK and overseas. You have the secondment worker route. That's where you have a high value contract, again across borders, and you're looking to move someone to the UK on a temporary basis, where the pay level under that route is lower actually, as is the skill level, but they need to be part of a formal secondment arrangement under that contract. You have the graduate trainee route, where you could bring across actually any number now of graduate trainees to the UK from an employer connected to you overseas, where you have a formal graduate training program in place. There's also UK expansion worker, and that's where you're looking to establish your formal presence in the UK from a head office overseas, and you need to apply for a license from abroad on a provisional basis. Then you can sponsor individuals to come into the UK for the first time to establish the business and then make the license formally complete, and then you can bring in other workers. There's also the service and supplier route, finally, which I wanted to touch on. That's where if there's an international trade agreement governing an arrangement between UK clients on the one side and foreign service supplier or provider on the other, you may be able to use that route to sponsor the individual workers working for the service provider or supplier to come to the UK and deliver the contract. And that's become very important for service providers. For example, in the EU, you used to have the benefit of free movement rules, but now don't have that and may still be looking to send people to the UK to deliver on big, large-scale contracts. So lots of different routes. Key distinctions are, it is temporary, it doesn't lead to settlement. Even if you spend 5 years in the UK under any one of these different banners, you can move around them, but you can only be here for 5 years out of any 6, or potentially up to 9 years if you're very highly paid in one of the categories. And there's no English language requirement, so that's a benefit of the route compared to, say, the skilled worker route. So lots of potential in there, and if you're looking at this route as something that might be relevant to you, and you want to explore just how useful it might be and whether it is appropriate, do get in touch with the team.